Here's something nobody ever warned me about, absolutely no one. Getting out of shape after 60 doesn't happen the way you think it will. It's not a slow fade, and it's not a gradual slide downhill. It's fast. Things like, you throw your back out, or 3 weeks of not much, and then there's winter and it's cold, and the couch is right there, and then the knees start complaining. And then one morning, a completely ordinary morning, you're climbing down the stairs, and something that used to be nothing isn't nothing anymore. You know what I mean? Now, I've been putting a lot of thought into this, and I've been building something over the last couple of weeks that I think a lot of you will find genuinely useful, so stick around to the end. But first, let's talk about what's actually going on with our bodies, because you need to know this. Let's get into it. G'day. Welcome to the workshop. Let me say something first before we get into the numbers and all the science and stuff. We didn't stop moving because we got lazy. Most of us stopped because life got in the way. A procedure perhaps, or a season of looking after someone else. A period where everything except our own fitness came first. That's not failure, that's simply being 60 something. But here's the thing nobody ever really tells you, and it's worth knowing clearly. After about the age of 50, your body starts losing muscle mass at roughly 1 to 2% per year. Every year. Without you doing anything wrong. The medical term is sarcopenia, hope I pronounced that correctly, from the Greek sarx for flesh and penia for loss. The practical translation is much simpler than that though. The chair gets harder to get out of, the suitcase gets heavier, and the walk up the hill takes more out of you than it used to. And it's not just muscle. Strength declines faster than mass. Research from the US National Institute on Aging's Baltimore longitudinal study, the longest running study of human aging in the world, found that after 65, strength can drop at 3 to 4% per year in men and 2.5 to 3% in women. Those are real numbers, and they add up. That's the hard part. Here's the good part. The body is more forgiving than you think. A 2023 study published in the International Journal of Sport, Nutrition and Exercise Metabolism took two groups of older adults, one aged 65 to 75 and another 85 and over, and put them through 12 weeks of resistance training, 3 sessions a week. Both groups showed around 10% improvement in quadricep muscle size. Both groups got stronger. Every single participant improved. Think about that. Every single one. Now, that's not a motivational poster. That's a peer-reviewed study. And what it tells us is that the body at any age is still capable of responding, still capable of rebuilding, still in the conversation, so to speak. You don't need a gym. You don't need a personal trainer or a protein shake that tastes like chalk. You need a plan that suits where you actually are right now, not where you were at 40. That bloke is gone. And honestly, good riddance to him. He had a bad back too. Let's start with the very simplest thing, walking. Not power walking, not intervals, not even 10,000 steps before breakfast, just walking. 30 minutes most days. Harvard Medical School has been looking at this for years across multiple large studies, and the number they keep coming back to is this: walking for 2.5 hours a week. That's just, 21 minutes a day is associated with a 30% reduction in the risk of heart disease. Not 30% better, 30% lower risk. That's not nothing. And a major 2025 review published in the Lancet Public Health, 57 studies, more than 160,000 people, found that hitting 7,000 steps a day was associated with a 25% lower risk of cardiovascular disease and a 40% lower risk of dying from any cause, compared to people walking around 2,000 steps a day. 7,000 steps. That's about 35 to 40 minute walk. Most of us can do that, right? The beauty of walking is it doesn't require anything to be perfect. You don't need perfect knees. It does help. You don't need perfect weather. You don't need to be fit before you start. You just need to start. You just need to walk out the front door. So here's something I really would like you to do. Here's the one thing I want you to do tonight, not tomorrow morning, tonight. Put your walking shoes by the front door. That's it. You're not committing to a program. You're not signing up for anything. You're just removing the one bit of friction that stands between you and the walk happening tomorrow morning. The shoes are already there. The rest is easy. Walking is the foundation, but if you want to stay genuinely strong, not just cardiovascular, but functionally strong, able to do things strong, you need resistance. You need to be working against something. Now, I know what some of you are thinking already. That means weights and gym and mirrors and people half your age and leotards. Ooh. Forget all that. I'm talking about a pair of dumbbells and 15 minutes 3 times a week. That's the whole job. For most people starting out, it's worth being honest about where you actually are right now. If you haven't done much in a while, and there's absolutely no shame in that, that's literally what this video is about, 3 kilograms, which is just under 7 pounds, is a perfectly reasonable place to begin. If you're around 80, go to 1 kilograms. The goal isn't to impress anyone. The goal is to tell the muscle it's still needed. From there, you work up at your own pace. 5 kilograms, about 11 pounds, is a solid working weight for most people early in the program. Then 8 kilograms, roughly 17.5 pounds. And for those who get there, 10 kilos, just over 22 pounds. Nothing heroic, and only if you can handle it without stress. Nothing that requires a spotter. Just enough resistance to keep you making progress. The movements that matter at our age aren't complicated. They're the ones that mirror what we actually do every day. Just think about it. Getting up from a chair, that's a squat. Picking something up off the floor, that's a deadlift. Lifting a bag into the overhead locker, that's a shoulder press. Pulling something towards you, that's a row. Functional strength. The stuff that keeps you independent. The stuff that means you can still carry your own groceries at 75 or 80. The research backs this up. A meta-analysis covering 49 studies of men aged 50 to 83, published in Medicine and Science and Sports and Exercise, found that progressive resistance training resulted in an average lean body mass increase of around 2.4 pounds, just over a kilo. That's not bodybuilder numbers, but then it's meaningful and measurable. Real-world strength that shows up in daily life. Now, you might have noticed I haven't been around for a couple of weeks, haven't uploaded any videos or anything. That's because I've been spending that time researching and building a fitness program suitable for people our age. And I wanted to get it right before I put it in front of anyone. Because here's my problem with most exercise content aimed at people our age. They call us seniors. And every time I hear that word applied to me, I want to throw something at the television, right? So from here on in, I've decided I'm not a senior, I'm mid-century modern. Works for me. And the programs built for seniors tend to be one of two things. Either so cautious they're basically useless, or designed for someone 30 years younger who happens to have grey hair, right? What I've built is different. It's very different. It's a set of exercise programs developed specifically for this stage of life, broken into 3 age ranges, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and 70 plus. With separate versions for men and women because the physiology is genuinely different, and pretending otherwise really doesn't help anyone. Each program is built around a standard set of dumbbells starting from 1 to 3 kilos if that's where you need to start, depending on your age, working through 5, 8 and 10 kilos, and every exercise is functional, things that make real life easier. Progressive, so if you're building from wherever you are right now, not where the program assumes you should be. Now, I need to say this plainly, and I mean it genuinely, and not as a legal disclaimer printed in small text at the bottom. If you're on medication, particularly blood pressure medication, blood thinners, or anything that affects your heart rate, talk to your doctor before you begin. If you've had a cardiac event, a joint replacement, or any recent surgery, talk to your doctor before you begin. The program will still be here when you've had that conversation, and it'll be more useful to you once you've had it. Okay? The link is in the description below. There's one for you. There's probably one that's perfect for someone you know. Here's what I want to leave you with. Getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. It means being more deliberate about staying strong. That's all. No heroics, no suffering, just showing up for your own body consistently with a plan that makes sense. The body you have at 70 is not just what genetics handed you at birth, it's the sum of what you chose to do in your 50s and 60s. Now, I don't say that to make anyone feel bad about the time that's already passed. I say it because it means the choice is still in front of you, right now, tonight. Shoes by the door, remember? That's where it starts. If this was useful, please share it with someone who needs it. I really appreciate a subscribe and a like and a comment. Please, if you've got any comments on all this, let me know. I read everyone, or at least I try to. And if you want to go further, the links to the programs are in the description. So, thanks for watching, and from one old bloke who really should know better, bye for now.